Hello everybody, my name is Mel, and today I'm going to be doing a movie review about As Above, So Below, a 2014 mystery thriller with a little bit of horror elements.
It wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault!
Alright, so this film is a found footage film. I'm going to be reading some of my script/notes on my cell phone, sorry if that's distracting. And so basically this film is kind of scary. But basically it's kind of talking about the gates of hell and how you're kind of entering one of them. And so this film is extremely different because it scares you in ways that you didn't think you would be afraid of, you know?
There is always some weird peoples down here.
You're not kidding.
Let me get this straight though. I hate found footage films. I don't like them. I prefer, I don't know, from something that's not shaky and looks like you're recording it on your cell phone or on your camera. I don't like that, but this film is really different. It really just caught my attention, and I guess this is why. So this film is directed by John Eric Dowell, hopefully I'm pronouncing his last name right, and co-written by his brother, Drew Dowell. They have done films together, but I know John Eric has done Devil.
This is not good.
Why is elevator 6 in inspection mode?
Oh, come on, man.
What's happening?
Nothing, just relax. What was that? You all right?
You're bleeding.
Oh my God.
It feels like something bit me.
Does anybody have anything sharp on them? They might have cut her.
No.
You mind if we search your pockets?
Yes, I do mind. You mind if we search yours?
What was that?
Something's jamming it.
It's stuck.
Don't come near me, any of you.
Back away from each other now!
And he also did the Poughkeepsie tapes and
A third body was found here today. A Poughkeepsie couple vanished over the weekend, seemingly without a trace.
Do you mind if I film this? I'm making a little movie about my trip.
quarantine.
There was no evidence. Until now.
There's a tape inside.
Apartment's about to begin the rescue process. Police say that she lives alone. She's not very social. You know.
We're here to help you.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. We have to get out of here. We have to get Lock it, lock it, lock it.
Now, before going into the film, I want to take a little bit of a step back and talk about the history of found footage, starting with Cannibal Holocaust back in 1979, 1980. This film kind of came out and kind of just shocked everyone, and I remember talking in class about this film where I guess it seemed so real that it was banned, and I think that's awesome. And I think this film maybe, you know, stands strong in, you know, the found footage community because it was one of the first, as well as like, it's a, you know, Cannibal Holocaust, you're combining two of the worst words ever together in a film. Like, oh man, like this has to stand for something. It's kind of one of those things where it's just like, I gotta watch it. The next film I really want to talk about that also stood a stronghold in the found footage community is the Blair Witch Project. In 1999, this came a couple of years after, Cannibal Holocaust, but it stood really strong. Dang, it was just these films just seem so real, during these times that it was convincing, and I guess that's what scares everybody, which is really cool. Paranormal Activity. Not a big fan of Paranormal Activity. It was just, found footage is cheesy. If you think about it, honestly, it's really cheesy. But this was just so cheesy to me. I'm gonna try and keep my negative bias to the side, but I give props to this series. How many movies are there? Like 4. I think there's maybe another one coming out. Who knows? Really cool that they started kind of like a franchise of this films, I guess. But yeah, it's pretty cool that how big this franchise is growing, and good for them and good for the found footage community. Alright, so basically this movie is about alchemy scholar who goes by Dr. Scarlett Marlowe, and she's on a quest to find the Philosopher's Stone, who her father also tried to find it, but he killed himself during the journey. So basically, what does this stone do, and why does this girl want it? Basically, reading off my phone again, sorry. So basically, this substance that can come off the stone can turn metals into silver or gold, and can also cause eternal life. So you'll be alive forever. So I've seen this movie about 3 times, and I always forget how much I love this movie. I wanted to talk about this because I don't like found footage films, and this one really just got me, and I really just love it. It makes me want to watch more John Eric Dowell films. So basically, this film keeps you on edge of the whole movie. During some parts of horror, mystery, thriller films, you're just waiting. But sometimes in horror, thriller, mystery films, you're just waiting for what's gonna happen next. And this film kind of just keeps you busy until the next event happens. So they're solving puzzles, reading passages, solving riddles, getting scared. And this film kind of reminds me of a weird twist of an Indiana Jones movie, but instead of Indiana Jones, it's Scarlett Marlowe, and she's great. I found some behind the scenes footage, and I thought that you guys would really appreciate it, and get some feedback from the director and producer themselves.
Going down, facing their own personal demons deep under the streets of Paris.
Just keep moving.
We had a problem with the cemetery of the Saints-Innocents. This cemetery was too full, so we decided in December 1785, we decided to empty it and to put the bone somewhere. We estimate that in the catacombs in the ossuary, there are something like the bones of 6 million dead people, so it's 3 times the population of Paris of today.
They just opened up manhole covers and dumped bones all over the place. Yeah, as you go, you just come across these piles of bones pouring out of tunnels and skulls and femurs, and it's really a kind of a surreal nightmarescape.
The corridors are the deepest corridors below Paris.
Down here you see all kinds of markings sort of everywhere you go. So a lot of the streets don't correspond to a current French map, but if you get an old map of Paris, you can sort of find your way around the catacombs using that. You're now experiencing what we went through in production. It It was really very difficult to shoot down here. And so as we'd be running through the corridors, like at full speed sometimes, we'd just have to put a forearm up like this. We'd be watching a monitor running through these spaces, and you know, you just take the hits in your arm instead of your face.
The Dowdles bring an energy to a set that's hugely important in any movie, but especially in a movie where you're running around screaming for your life in caves.
I'm Paris Weeks, and I play Scarlett Marlowe. They were so energized and really excited to be working on this project, and they just really seemed to enjoy every little moment, and they were really appreciative of everything that we gave, and it made you want to give and give more, and they kind of got I think they got the best out of us.
We staged the bone tunnel scene right here where all our characters have to climb over the bones and Benji gets stuck and the ceiling caves in, and piled bones basically up to about there, and they had to climb up and crawl through, and we added a wall just to the left here, so it felt very tight. It felt like a very narrow corridor.
Shooting in the catacombs was really exciting I think for all of us. It was a completely different world from anything we've ever been in before. It was cold, it was dark, it was far away from anything, it was creepy, and for all those reasons, weirdly, it was awesome.
Like, really fun.
Yeah.
Scary. It's scary crawling under, you know, slabs of real stone, and it's like you climb in here, and you know it's wrong. Like, you know you shouldn't be in there. Like you just shouldn't be messing with this.
And psychologically, I have to say, after more than 20 days, people start to lose it a little bit because the air is strange down here, and the quality of sound is very strange down here, and it really starts to wear on you.
What's going on?
What the hell is this?
I'm going to be talking about the pros in this film and why I liked it. So I liked that I was being educated in a non-formal way, learning history about the catacombs, the French, the pharaohs, booby traps, and alchemy. This film talks a lot about hell, and it really fascinates me. Hell really fascinates me, and it just always has. And supposedly on top of the gates of hell, there's a sign that says, and I'll put it right here. It says, I'm gonna read the translated version: "Abandon all hope, ye who enter here." So that this quote is written on top of the gates of hell. That was written on top of one of the passageways in the catacombs.
Watch out, Benji. Can you read that? What does it say?
Abandon all hope, ye who enter here.
Oh.
What?
According to mythology, that's the inscription over the gates of hell.
What? I'm not going in there.
It was super crazy. The jump scares were not too predictable, but they were at the same time. They were not to a point where you know they're gonna look up and it's gonna be there, So it was pretty good. It was super crazy. The jump scares were not too predictable, but they were at the same time. They were not to a point where you know they're gonna look up and it's gonna be there, So it was pretty good. I really enjoyed that a female was the lead in this film. I really enjoyed that she was so brave and so smart, and not seen, as the weak one, in horror films. I liked how there was, I liked how there was no comedic relief, like how there is in some films now where they're at a little funny and it just kind of just like puts you at ease. This movie does not put you at ease. It puts you at ease when they're like, wait, it doesn't. The cons in this film is going back to what I said in the beginning, romantic relationship between Scarlett and George. They traveled together before, and I'm kind of not going to spoil that part, but they traveled together before and they had like an altercation, kind of separated, but like they had like a romantic encounter, and I'm just like, why? Like, females and males can be friends without being romantic, you know, but whatever. I guess one of the cons could be that a lot was going on. A lot of people may not like that. I really enjoyed it though, to an extent. The last like 20 minutes of the film is, more like the last 15 minutes of the film is like really like a lot is happening, so you really don't want to get up and go to the bathroom during that time. Some of the scares were cliche, but the good kind of cliche, but they were good scares. The ending I found was disappointing. It was more of a happy ending, but I like twisted endings, but that's just my personal feel on films. The editing and sound in this film, the sound is quite interesting. I might add some music now, just you can kind of get a reel. I might add a reel of the sound and the music that they were playing now. It was kind of weird, I'm not gonna lie, but the editing in this film was really good, and so was the acting. It was just great. I like the use of super dark shadows, and the reds were really red, and the reds were really red, and sorry, I made an eel face. And so yeah, I really like this film. It's one of, I bought it, you know, so I had like a physical copy of it, so that should mean something. If you go out and actually buy the physical copy of something instead of a digital version of something, that means something. And so the editing, so overall, I give this film an 8 out of 10. What would make it a 10 out of 10? I think for it not to have a happy ending, along with, I guess, none of the cons that I said, but I don't know, this film is, I think it's rated R. This film is awesome, and I think people are sleeping on it for sure, so definitely if you are trying to look for a movie to watch, it is not on Netflix or Hulu. I'm sorry, you kind of have to go out and seek this film. But it's a really good film, and it's really, if you are if you're a nerd and you like history, this film is for you. I definitely recommend it. And yeah, so that's my review, and I hope you guys enjoy it. See ya! So I wanted to preview the trailer of this film instead of just pulling out clips from the movie and just kind of talk about it. So yeah, this is just kind of the beginning of what the film starts. It's really relaxed, but it's really informative, and you really need to pay attention to what's going on. If not, you'll be a little bit lost. And so yeah, this is kind of the group that goes into the catacombs, and it's pretty spooky. It's pretty awesome. I love it. It's great. And so yeah, I really like I don't know, it's something about this camera work that really got to me. That's a found footage style that others just couldn't, honestly. I love the claustrophobia aspect of this film, which was a lot of it, especially this scene. It was brutal, man. Yeah, this is the cameraman, or was the cameraman. Yeah, super cool. Love this film. I just can't get enough of it. I definitely recommend for everyone to watch this. And alright, I'll let you guys take a listen.
Oh my god.
What the hell is this?
When I was a kid, we had a piano that looked exactly like this. I used to play it all the time. The A4 key was messed up. What's going on? Can you read that?
According to mythology, that's the inscription over the gates of hell. And they shall be made to crawl on their bellies to enter the kingdom of darkness.
Did you hear that?
Is somebody there?
What's happening to us?
Dad?
wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault!